लीगल रिपोर्टर के सभी वीडियो को देखने के लिए लीगल रिपोर्टर को सब्सक्राइब करके बेल आइकन बटन जरूर दबाएं। नमस्कार, लीगल रिपोर्टर में आपका स्वागत है। लीगल लीजेंड के प्रोग्राम में हम हमेशा की तरह सुप्रीम कोर्ट, हाई कोर्ट के किसी न किसी सीनियर एडवोकेट से आपको रूबरू कराते हैं और इसी कड़ी में आज हमारे साथ सीनियर एडवोकेट CS वैद्यनाथन साहब हैं। करीब 4 दशक का बड़ा अनुभव, 1974 से जो कानून की पढ़ाई से लेकर और 2020 तक का एक बड़ा लंबा समय CS वैद्यनाथन साहब ने दिया। बड़े लंबे केसेस किए, बड़े कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल मैटर किए। आज हमारे साथ वैद्यनाथन सर है और हम इन्हीं से जानेंगे कि आखिर इस 4 दशक के वकालत का क्या अनुभव है, क्या अनुभव लिया और बेसिकली क्या बड़ी समस्याएं हैं जिनको कानूनी प्रक्रिया के मुताबिक उन्हें ख़त्म किया जा सकता है। तो वैद्यनाथन सर, आपका स्वागत है लीगल लीजेंड में। वैद्यनाथन सर, सबसे पहले तो आप बताइए अपने बर्थ के बारे में, अपने फादर के बारे में। जी।
मैं तो कोयम्बतूर में जन्म हुआ
जी
और वहाँ काफ़ी विलेजेस में रहा
जी।
क्योंकि माय फादर वाज इन द गवर्नमेंट सर्विस, रेवेन्यू सर्विस, एंड so I have lived in places where there was no electricity, where there was no piped water supply. I have grown up like that. Studied mostly in government schools, free, so didn't have to pay for the education most of the time. Because even by the time government of Madras had introduced free education. कॉलेज एजुकेशन में मैं मैसूर में रहा, बेंगलुर में रहा, फिर लॉ मद्रास में किया। मैसूर जाने का ज़रूरत पड़ा कि आई वॉज जस्ट 13.5 when I finished my school, and I had to be 14.5 to enter college in Tamil Nadu, in Madras. So then I went to Mysore and did my pre-university and graduation from St. Joseph's. My father was in government service and retired in 61.
मैं उनका नाम जान सकता हूँ?
Shankar Narayana.
जी।
And my mother, she had studied only up to 3rd standard,
Okay.
3rd class, and but I think one of the I mean, a person who has influenced me a lot, both of them, and Subambal is her name, and I grew up in a big family. Our own family, I had 7 sisters and 1 brother, and our family relationships were such that the extended family of my cousins, my aunts, my uncles, we all used to meet very often, and then and I think the support, family support was so good that I think nobody really felt deprived. That was the kind of atmosphere in which we grew up. Today, of course, unitary families have come in.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. तो लॉ में आने की, वकालत में आने की, मतलब वो क्या कोई ऐसी स्पेसिफिक कोई घटना हुई?
पहले तो इंजीनियरिंग करना चाहता था
जी,
मगर मद्रास में तो ये रिजर्वेशन का इश्यू है, तो एज अ ब्राह्मण आई हैड अ प्रॉब्लम इवन दो माय मार्क्स वर फेयरली हाई, बट बिकॉज ऑफ द कोटा आई कुड नॉट गेट इन. देन आई वेंट एंड BSc करना शुरू किया. Father said you can thereafter move to engineering, but after 1 year of science, I decided science and engineering was not my subject. फिर मैं I told my father, so he said that's fine. If I wanted, I could change to law. I decided to continue with BSc. उसके बाद law में आया. Father, when he was in government service, when he got typhoid and he would advise medical advice for arrest, so he went, took half-pay leave, went to Bangalore and did law, and he topped the university.
Oh, great.
So that was a source of inspiration for me. इसी वजह से मैं फिर law में आ गया, because after retirement father took up practice, so that also gave me a lot of encouragement. And then I
तो वो टैक्सेशन की प्रैक्टिस उन्होंने शुरू करी?
नहीं वो
revenue से,
रेवेन्यू फील्ड में.
ओके.
So lot of rationing, land reforms इन सब्जेक्ट में हैंडल किया.
तो 74 में लॉ करने के बाद मुझे बताइए कि प्रैक्टिस आपने कहाँ से शुरू करी, और दूसरा मेरा क्वेश्चन रहेगा कि जो भी लॉ स्टूडेंट होते हैं, लॉ अपना कंप्लीट करने के बाद किसी को सिविल में जाना है, क्रिमिनल में जाना है, टैक्सेशन में जाना है, तो आपने क्या डिसाइड किया था उस समय?
पहले तो जब मैं लॉ कंप्लीट किया 1969 में,
जी.
आई वॉज लेस देन 20.
अच्छा.
आई कुड नॉट एनरोल.
ओके.
So then I decided to do post graduation. वहाँ बैंगलोर में गया, पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन इन लॉ एंड मास्टर्स इन सोशल वर्क दोनों साथ साथ किया. बट मीन टाइम आई सॉ एडवर्टाइजमेंट्स फॉर this management trainee scheme of DCM. DCM was one of the big companies, third ranking company in 1970 in India. And therefore I applied for that, and I got selected. There were a number of persons who were from IIT and all that, and I was just a science and law graduate. And I was selected for that. So I was in Delhi 70 to 74 as a senior management trainee. So management training scheme में काफ़ी interesting subjects लगा, manufacturing management, purchase management, stores management, finance. I think वो जो background and training जो मुझे मिला उस 3-4 साल में, I think it is helping me a lot in practice. क्योंकि any subject that I take, when I do a case, then the how I can relate to the monetary effect of that I am able to appreciate better because of that training that I received. 74 में जब वहाँ कोई strike आया, then I decided I had a lot of time to reflect. And then by the time I was married and I had a child also.
Okay. Okay.
And then when I was coming back by train, 2-day journey, I thought about what my future holds. Then I decided law is better than management. So then I came back and decided to resign. And my father had briefed Mr. Vanugopal in some matters. So मेरा choice more or less it was made up by that. As an introduction you need a base. तो जब मैं decide किया practice के लिए, father suggest किया that he will take me to Mr. Vanugopal. So I went there, and Mr. Nambiar was alive at that time, and I met him also. I have assisted Mr. Nambiar also in a few matters before he passed away. So, and I joined Mr. Vanugopal in June 1974 and started practice. Good fortune was, for me as a professional, was the bad times that the country was going through in 1974.
Yes, emergency time.
Emergency came to be imposed in 1975. 74 में ही economic problems था, इसी वजह से MISA was amended in regard to smugglers, foreign exchange manipulators. There were a lot of detentions. Then so much opposition movement and criticism of the government that even the opposition leaders were being detained. Then emergency came to be imposed. So lawyer का, particularly constitutional lawyer का role तो काफ़ी important होता है in these periods of crisis.
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Vanugopal was a very successful practitioner of law, constitutional law. So he had a lot of opportunities, and my good fortune was that one of his star juniors at that time, Mr. Chidambaram, he could not appear against the government because Congress was ruling, and he was a leader of the Congress party, president of Tamil Nadu Congress Committee. So I think it was good fortune that all these came together, and I could get a lot of exposure, lot of opportunities to argue, not only in Madras but in Karnataka High Court, with Mr. Venugopal, assisting him, and on my own. Oh, I think that gave me a kind of a head start and the opportunity. And starting with Mr. Venugopal, where Mr. Venugopal's office has produced perhaps the largest number of senior advocates in the country
Yes,
today.
yes.
So the kind of encouragement that he gives, the kind of opportunities that he gives. So I always say that whatever I am today is thanks to Mr. Venugopal.
तो के वेणुगोपाल साहब के साथ जो काम करने का आपका अनुभव रहा, लॉ की किसी पर्टिकुलर फील्ड में आपको स्पेशलाइजेशन उनसे सीखने को मिला?
Constitutional law and administrative law and constitution 1974 to 77. President's rule imposition in Tamil Nadu. Emergency, challenge to emergency, challenge to press censorship, because a lot of cases were there in regard to press censorship, and the Sarkaria Commission. So I think my experience and research in constitutional law during that period was really, a good background to start with, and that stands me in good stead today.
तो फिर इसके बाद दिल्ली कब आना हुआ सर?
जब मिस्टर वेणुगोपाल को एडिशनल सॉलिसिटर जनरल अपॉइंटमेंट मिला एंड 78 एंड में 79 में ज्वाइन किए, मिस्टर शांति भूषण वाज द लॉ मिनिस्टर एंड मोरारजी देसाई वाज द प्राइम मिनिस्टर, एंड देन ही शिफ्टेड. सो ही आस्क्ड हिज जूनियर्स, नंबर ऑफ देम, किसी ने दिल्ली आने के लिए तैयार नहीं था. मेरा तो थोड़ा एक्सपीरियंस था दिल्ली में, इसलिए फिर even though I had started picking up practice on my own, I decided I will shift with him. And I think that Delhi is a place which encourages talent. Supreme Court, High Court, दोनों में, I think the judges' approach is to, if they spot somebody who is good, they are not bothered by all these petty considerations of class, caste and all that, and they give encouragement. And I was lucky that I shifted to Supreme Court at a time when the judges were so magnanimous and so kind to the juniors. Chandrachud, Bhagwati, Krishna Iyer, Desai, Chinnappa Reddy, Tulsapurkar, these were stars, outstanding judges. And they encourage the juniors, and if you could come out with a point, I think, in fact, when I argued before the Constitution bench, Chief Justice Chandrachud presiding, in Mittu, that was
senior Chanchud, YV Chanchud.
Yes, yes. And that was a case of a person who was in jail and who had committed murder. So at that time the law was mandatory death punishment for a person who is in jail and commits murder. So this petition had been filed. My good friend Mr. R.K. Jain, who was a president also several years, he was to argue, but for some reason he couldn't argue. He asked me to argue the matter. And the bench was so receptive, and during those times, and that matter and that Vasant Kumar matter where equality reservation, I had appeared on behalf of some of the Tamil Nadu students challenging the reservation. See, the encouragement by the judges to do original research. So at that time, Andre Bettel's book on competing equalities had come. So when I produced that material and then argued, all of them were so encouraging. Justice Chinnappa, Venkatramaya, all of them. In Mittu's also, in regard to some of the penal theories as to what should be done. And जब मैं ये research material produce किया Harvard और Yale Law Review का किताब और बाकी, they were all received very well and appreciated. That was a kind of today. I think some judges are good, like Justice Chandrachud. His father's training or otherwise, I think that trait continues. There are some judges. We had excellent bench in Ayodhya, for example. They gave so much of encouragement in regard to all this research. But because of the huge burden, I think, on the court today, they don't have the time to spend so much time into academic papers. And there is so much case law has already developed that they perhaps don't want to even rely on foreign case law, and they would rather go by Indian case law. But
हालांकि हम लोग थोड़ा सा आगे बढ़ गए, लेकिन मैं उस प्रश्न पे आपको दोबारा से लेके आना चाहता हूँ सवाल पर। जब आपने लॉ कंप्लीट किया, वेणुगोपाल साहब को ज्वाइन किया, तो आपको अगर याद हो आपका किया हुआ पहला केस, फर्स्ट केस, क्या उसमें रिलीफ मिला था या नहीं मिला था? वो कौन सा केस था सर?
मैं ज्वाइन किया वेणुगोपाल साहब को जून में, और अगस्त फर्स्ट वीक में आई मूव माई फर्स्ट एडमिशन. इट वॉज ऑन बिहाफ ऑफ वन ऑफ द पीपल इन द सिविलियन पार्ट ऑफ द आर्मी. Because of his illness, he had to stay away from work for a long time. वो लीव एग्जॉस्ट हो गया था, तो उनके अगेंस्ट proceedings, abandonment of service का हुआ, and then it was so he had to go and challenge. Look, I was helpless. So it was virtually a free case, and Mr. Venugopal took up. So I drafted and filed the petition. Then when I told Mr. Venugopal the matter is coming tomorrow for hearing, he said, no, you argue the matter, I will sit next to you.
Okay.
So he sat next to me. I moved the matter before Justice Ramanujam, who was sitting in Writ Court at that time. And notice was issued and some interim relief was made.
Great sir. Great sir. अब जो एक लंबा समय रहा, अब जब आप सुप्रीम कोर्ट में आ गए, सुप्रीम कोर्ट में वकालत, तो मुझे बताइए कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट आने के बाद अगर कुछ, क्योंकि आपने तो एक लंबे समय तक बहुत ज़्यादा मामले किए, अगर मैं कुछ आपके केसेस के बारे में जानना चाहूँ, तो वो कौन से लैंडमार्क केसेस थे जिनमें आप अपेयर हुए, और उन लैंडमार्क्स केसेस को डिसाइड करने के बाद एक बेंचमार्क सेट हुआ उन केसेस से, वो बहुत संक्षिप्त में वो केसेस कौन कौन से थे, अगर आप कुछ केसेस के बारे में बताना चाहें? जी।
इनफैक्ट वो सारे जो लैंडमार्क केसेस जो पहले इनिशियल ईयर्स में किया था, सब प्रो बोनो केसेस थे.
जी.
सेबास्टियन होंग्रे जो एक लैंडमार्क केस है इंडियन जुडिशरी में, जब एक हेडमास्टर और एक प्रीस्ट वेर अबडक्टेड बाय द आर्मी and the wives filed the habeas corpus petition, and Justice Desai and Justice Chinnapareddy issued the writ of habeas corpus. I think see, the Armed Forces Special Powers Act are in force in Manipur, and these detention had taken place in Manipur. I think they had been done away with. So obviously they could not be produced. So जब petition आया contempt, and so उसमें after hearing, court came to the conclusion that they can't be produced. Therefore, then for the first time, compensation was directed to be given for the families. I think that's one of the important cases in regard to assertion of human rights and court's authority in enforcing Article 21.
Okay.
Frank Anthony teachers, I was appearing for them, again pro bono. They were protesting during lunchtime, wearing a black band. So the management of the school took action against them. So I said, this right to protest,
Yes.
I am not affecting the students' welfare. Classes are not affected. At lunchtime, I wear a black band and then sit in protest. I don't take 1 minute extra more than whatever is the lunch time. So why should I not have this protest? Don't I have the right to protest? Again, Justice Chinnappa, he was, and the gentleman, the lawyer who was associated in that case today is a judge of the Supreme Court, Ravindra Bhatt. He was at that time my chamber junior.
Okay. Okay, sir.
And so we were arguing the case, and the court upheld the right to protest. And court said that even a private school, you will have to follow the certain norms, and this fundamental right to protest you can't.
कैपिटल पनिशमेंट पे भी आपने एक बड़ा लैंडमार्क
Mithu wala case.
Exactly,
Mithu's case. And Mithu's case again was pro bono. Therefore, उसमें mandatory capital punishment को उन्होंने scrap कर दिया. The court declared it is invalid. So these cases I think really were I mean important in my life as a lawyer and helped me to advance the reservation cases also, backward classes. Then in regard to the Sanskrit, see, on education I had done a number of matters. One in regard to Sanskrit being offered as a subject in the CBSE schools. That was taken up by Justice Kuldeep Singh and Justice Ansaria, and they gave the relief. In regard to the curriculum, when CBSE curriculum was changed, I had appeared on behalf of some of the professors and teachers, and so that again laid, I think, advanced the law in regard to the right to education generally.
तो इसके साथ ही अगर ऐतिहासिक जजमेंट की बात करें तो अयोध्या तो इस देश में एक बड़ा मुद्दा था, जिसमें वैद्यनाथन सर रामलला डाइटी के लिए पेश हुए। डाइटी के लिए जुड़ने का वो क्या अनुभव रहा, और आपको लगा कि आपने 100% उसमें दिया या कुछ कमी रह गई थी, ऐसा कोई महसूस?
मेरे हिसाब से तो मैं with Mr. Parasaran's guidance, हमने जो entire team, we put in our best efforts, and we succeeded, and we would have almost succeeded in also getting Ram Janmabhoomi itself declared as a deity. But I think the court's concern was, if that is done, what will happen to Mathura?
Yes.
इस वजह से मेरे ख्याल में the court stepped back and did perhaps felt not time was not ripe, was not appropriate to declare that. But otherwise, in regard to the place itself being divine, sacred, and therefore having a separate identity as a juristic person, उसमें काफ़ी हमने जो आर्ग्यू किया, I don't think the court has been able to discountenance most of them. But I think court held back its relief in regard to that because of what they foresaw could be the problems in a country like India.
Clear. वैद्यनाथन सर, ये तो केसेस की बात हो गई, अब मैं आपको बार की तरफ ले जा रहा हूँ। बहुत से सीनियर एडवोकेट्स बार की राजनीति में भी, पॉलिटिक्स में भी एक्टिव रहे, कभी बार की पॉलिटिक्स में कभी कोई रुचि?
नहीं, मेरा सीनियर मिस्टर वेणुगोपाल बार प्रेसिडेंट रहे। My closest friend, more like a brother, R.K. Jain, he fought even against Settleward and then became president several times. Senior Dr. Singhvi, Dr. Lakshmimal Singhvi, he was very fond of me, and so he made me an office bearer in the Supreme Court Bar Association for 2 terms. But somehow I was disheartened. इतना dissensions है, क्योंकि united जो काम हम कर सकते हैं उतना हम नहीं कर पा रहे हैं. Another good friend of mine, Krishnamani, he was the president of the bar for several years. I discouraged all of them, but of course they contested against my advice. But they all felt इतना एफर्ट लेने के बाद भी ये थैंकलेस रहा द बार. Mr. Venugopal, Mr. R.K. Jain, Krishnamani, Dr. Singhvi, they all put in so much for the bar. But the contentious and the way there are persons in the bar. Unfortunately what has happened is today we have a bar with almost 15 lakh lawyers.
Yes.
Of whom you find that only about 5 lakh lawyers are active.
Yes.
And if you look at the income tax statistics, less than 3 lakh lawyers are paying income tax.
Yes.
Now what does this show? That means there are a number of lawyers who are not in a position to do well in the profession.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they have to make they have to show their existence. No, this gives rise to a lot of disgruntlement, opposition. ये problem है. Somehow I have found it very difficult to enter the bar politics because of this. I have kept away from that.
बार के अलावा अब मैं वैद्यनाथन सर से बेंच के बारे में भी कुछ पूछूंगा. सर, सुप्रीम कोर्ट में आपने लंबे समय प्रैक्टिस की, तमाम चीफ जस्टिस को देखा. क्या कुछ ऐसे जजेस जिनके बारे में आप जिक्र करना चाहें, उनके विजडम को लेकर, उनके फैसलों को लेकर, उनके जजमेंट्स को लेकर एक अलग तरह सा प्रभाव आपको पड़ा? क्या वो कुछ जजेस जिनके बारे में आप बात करना चाहेंगे?
I think in my entire career in the Supreme Court, I would rate Krishna Iyer as the most outstanding. The vision, the broadness and the width of vision and thinking and the approach, I think is unparalleled. I would rate Bhagwati immediately thereafter, and they're persons. They have been able to advance the law. Supreme Court is not merely to adjudicate matters which come before them, but also to advance the rights of the people, advance the law, and I think there is a crucial role played by the Supreme Court judges in ensuring that what is the whole. They have to ask themselves every day, keep asking in every case. What is this state for? Why do you have a government? Why do you have the court? Therefore, this is to give relief to the people. That people-oriented approach, the compassionate approach. I think when I came into the Supreme Court, the court was full of judges who had compassion and the humane approach. आजकल, to me it appears, थोड़ा कम हो.
लेकिन क्या वर्तमान समय प्रेजेंटली कोई सुप्रीम कोर्ट में ऐसे जज हैं जो आपको लगता है कि उनके बारे में?
नहीं, आज भी there are a number of judges who are good. I think in terms of the vision to advance the law, you can name a few judges who certainly have that caliber and that approach. But what is lacking is the human compassion, the feeling for a fellow human being.
Yes.
Because they are overburdened, and I think sometimes they take the government's word for granted.
Yes.
I think when I stepped into the profession in 1974 in habeas corpus matters, the petitions will be taken up for hearing the following day in 24 hours. Why is it not happening today? Article 21 का जो real basis, उसको somehow we have lost sight of. Personal liberty का इतना importance हम नहीं दे रहे. Freedom of speech को इतना importance नहीं दे रहे. I think this is very, very important. We need to refocus our attention. The court has been obsessed with disposal, obsessed with, oh, I have to balance interests of the government and the public. That is for the government to take. You look at it from the point of view of rights. I think more important should be given to the rights rather than to the restriction.
वेदांतन सर, अब चूँकि एक 4 दशक का एक बड़ा अनुभव और 45-46 साल की आपकी एक लंबी वकालत में 2 कोर ऐसे इशू जिनको लगता है आपको एक जुडिशल सिस्टम में इनको एक बार रीलुक करने की, रीडिफाइन करने की बहुत ज़रूरत है, उसकी इमीडिएट ज़रूरत है और लंबे समय से पेंडिंग है। क्या 2 ऐसे आपको कौन से जुडिशियल एंटायर जुडिशियल प्रोसेस में वो कौन से 2 आप एड्रेस करना चाहेंगे?
एक तो हम जो कॉलोनियल सिस्टम को इनहेरिट किया, प्रोसीजर एंड दिस एम्फसिस ऑन प्रोसेसेस, उसको थोड़ा कम करके आई थिंक mediation has to be vigorously pursued.
Yes.
And I think this, if the court has to somehow ensure in criminal administration separation of the investigation and the prosecution wing, otherwise the independence of investigation and prosecution unfortunately is completely lacking. And the law and order machinery, if it is mixed up with investigation, prosecution, as has happened, as has been the case, and in spite of court direction, it has not been done, I think has resulted in huge failure of the criminal justice system. ये बहुत जरूरी है, and mediation has to be encouraged in all civil and administrative law jurisdictions.
अब इस इंटरव्यू के अंतिम में थोड़ा सा मैं आपसे जानना चाहूँगा, जो हज़ारों लाखों की संख्या में आपको लॉयर्स, बडिंग लॉयर्स या जो भी लीगल प्रोफेशन से जुड़े हैं, आपको देख रहे हैं, आपको सुन रहे हैं, आपके अनुभव को जान रहे हैं, उनके लिए बड़ा आपकी तरफ से, आपके अनुभव की तरफ से क्या मैसेज रहेगा?
देखिए, फर्स्ट तो मैं कहूँगा लीगल प्रोफेशन में जो lawyer who is willing to put in hard work and apply his mind, he will succeed. I have come from the Mufassil. I studied in Tamil medium schools, in free schools. I went to school even without a chapel. I come up from that, and I have never felt that I have been discriminated against. So long as you put in your hard work, and so long as you are willing to, you must have that passion for advocacy. You must have the passion for the profession, passion for doing justice. But second, have a questioning mind. Never accept anything as given. If a law is made, if it doesn't appeal to your common sense, then there must be something wrong. Challenge it. So once you have that questioning mind, willing to work hard, research, and then argue for the causes, take up good causes pro bono, you'll fight, you'll come up.
इतने बड़े कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल मैटर्स, इतनी बड़ी वकालत करने के बाद वैद्यनाथन सर में एक संगीतकार भी छुपा हुआ, वो क्या है? वो जो म्यूज़िक के प्रति आपका लगाव है, वो क्या है? उसके बारे में बताइए।
नहीं, मैं हमारे यहाँ in the entire country, temples play a very important role. Temples में in all the festivals, music is very important. And जब मैं बच्चा था, when I grew up in the villages and with the temple festivals, I listened to a lot of music. Through osmosis I imbibed. I never learnt music, मगर काफ़ी इंटरेस्ट लगा कर्नाटिक म्यूज़िक पे, और यहाँ आने के बाद कुमार गंधर्व का म्यूज़िक fascinated me. So I, thanks to Mukul Mudgal, who is a good friend of mine, I am also involved in the Gandharv Mahavidyalaya and some of the sabhas here. And I make it a point every year to go to Chennai for the music festival.
ग्रेट सर, ग्रेट सर।
So I like enjoy music. I enjoy the good arts like painting and music and all that.
अब मेरा बिल्कुल लास्ट क्वेश्चन है आपके लिए, बहुत व्यक्तिगत है आपसे। कैसे अपने आप को फिट कैसे रखते हैं सर?
नहीं, ज़्यादा एक्सरसाइज तो मैं नहीं करता हूँ, थोड़ा बहुत योगा करता हूँ इन बिटवीन स्टॉक, बट बाय एंड लार्ज एंड आई मेंटेन दैट एंड आई थिंक गुड स्लीप, आई रिलैक्स 7-8 hours a day, so that keeps me fit.
थैंक यू वेरी मच सर, आपसे
Thank
बहुत
you,
अच्छा
thank
लगा बातचीत करके। लीगल लीजेंड में आपके CS वैद्यनाथन साहब को सुना, उनके अनुभवों को सुना, न्यू एडवोकेट्स के लिए उन्होंने तमाम सलाहें दी। लीगल प्रोफेशन में इतने काम करने के बाद भी संगीत के प्रति उनकी रुचि एक तरह के आपके जो एक व्यक्ति निर्माण के, एक चरित्र निर्माण के लिए बहुत ज़रूरी है, जैसा कि वैद्यनाथन सर ने कहा। और इसी के साथ ही हम लगातार आपको लीगल लीजेंड के माध्यम से ऐसे ही जो सीनियर एडवोकेट्स हैं जिन्होंने लंबे समय अनुभव किया है, उनके बारे में रूबरू दिखाते रहेंगे, उनको दिखाते रहेंगे, उन्हें सुनाते रहेंगे। तब तक के लिए नमस्कार, धन्यवाद। लीगल रिपोर्टर के सभी वीडियो को देखने के लिए लीगल रिपोर्टर को सब्सक्राइब करके बेल आइकन बटन जरूर दबाएं।